Hello and welcome to another episode of the Farr Show where I'm Damien Farr, and tonight we're talking about the movie Lightyear. And I know what you're thinking right away. Damien, where's the Bond cam? Because normally you can kind of see it here. There's a light here, so I kind of felt I shouldn't have it. It's supposed to be the Pixar light, but it's more white than the Pixar light, which is gray. I'm kind of curious to see how it looks lighting-wise, honestly, so let's actually give it a test. Yeah, that doesn't look the same as the other lights. But it's cool nonetheless. I did just want to put it here as a display piece more than anything. I actually will be using this light for stuff, so that's cool. But let's start talking about Lightyear, where this movie isn't great, if I'm being honest. I don't think this movie needed to be made. It sounds like it's not doing well at the box office either, but basic info, it's directed by Angus MacLane. Screenplay by Jason Henley and Angus MacLane. Story by Angus MacLane, Matthew Aldridge, and Jason Henley. The movie itself is a cool idea. Like, this movie, the basic plot and the basic idea is, this is the movie that got the Buzz Lightyear toy. Which makes sense in the end, because if you think about it, anytime they make a movie, they normally never get the actual original actors. So the idea that Chris Evans technically is the actual Buzz Lightyear voice, and then the toy is based off of him, and then Tim Allen is him, that makes sense, sure. That happens all the time. I mean, look at Woody. Woody is played by Tom Hanks, but you can't afford Tom Hanks for toys, honestly, so you get his younger brother, I guess, to my understanding. So the cast in this movie is pretty good. It's got Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear. I mean, he's really the main draw here. Keke Palmer as Izzy Hawthorne. Peter Sean as Socks. James Brolin as Emperor Zurg. And Taika Waititi as Mo Morrison. I think, honestly, the main two in this movie are really Chris Evans and Taika Waititi. Even though Taika Waititi's character is just atrociously annoying and bad. I don't know why, but he is. So that's kind of a weird thing to note here. The plot of this movie is also not the greatest either. It's really like a B movie, honestly, which in some cases I'd be excited to see. I mean, but this one isn't great here. Pretty much Buzz crashes his ship that has everyone on it. He does it by accident, but it's still like you crash the ship. And it's to live on a terrible planet because they're supposed to colonize places is pretty much what it seemed. They didn't really go into too much detail there. He tries to fix his mistake, but he keeps going 4 years into the future because when he's going around the curvature of a sun to perfect light speed, he ends up going... It takes him 4 years in the end. So that kind of sucks, but at the same time, he's like, I've got to complete the mission. Eventually, he does want to give up, and then his friend pushes him. She said, hey, you've already did this so long in my life, technically, because she ends up aging considerably through all this time. Like, one time he comes back, she's engaged. The next time she comes back, she's married and has a kid. The next time she comes back, she has grandchildren. Like, you know what I mean? It's not that quick, but it's the idea. So, tries to fix his mistake, keeps going into the future, eventually meets his friend's granddaughter, makes a team, well, really, the granddaughter makes the team to complete the mission. Buzz then ends up figuring out Emperor Zurg is himself, who somehow gets a hold of these robots. It's not really explained either. I think this is a Pixar movie that's just going for kids and not adults. Like with Toy Story, the first two were mainly for kids, but as they went on, they got more adult-oriented. Like the kids that watched the original Toy Stories, grew up and became adults. Just like I did. I watched the original Toy Story 1 and 2, became an adult, so Toy Story 3 and 4 kind of hit harder. This is just a dumb B movie, for lack of a better term. So, what ends up happening is Buzz Lightyear fights the older version of himself, that is Emperor Zurg. Realize that if he goes back in time, everybody loses their life that they had. I put have, but had, which sucks. So he doesn't do it in the end, which is character development. But that's really the only character that is development. I mean, they get better, but they don't really change other than Izzy Hawthorne isn't afraid of space as much as what I gathered. They all like kind of do better, but that's it. So once again, this movie is not really anything to write home about. So the future is what I'm wondering about. So how did they get Woody then? Is my bigger question. Is Woody from a show or something? A movie? If there is, release a Woody movie, please. And really, the biggest takeaway I took from this, and hear me out on this, hear me out. Remake Toy Story and Toy Story 2. Give them the Halo Combat Evolved anniversary treatment, but, there's a big but here. Make sure you make it good. And when I say good, I mean literally remake it shot for shot. Everything the same, just upscale the resolution, because I assume that's what they did for the other ones. You know, make it a better resolution movie. Shit, push it to 8K right away. I don't have any cash, or I'd put it in the swear jar. So, you know, up it to 8K, because at that point you'll never need to redo it, most likely. I mean, TVs will continue to get better, but 8K, the human eye can't see the difference between 8K and 4K almost, so it just makes sense that you'd do it that way. So I think that'd be kind of cool. So maybe one day we will get a remade Toy Story 1 and 2. You know what? Just throw in A Bug's Life as well. I know Toy Story 1 and 2 would be easier because you can reuse the assets, but a boy can dream. So, what did you think of Lightyear? Tell me in the comments below, what did you think of Lightyear, and what is your favorite Toy Story movie? I'm really curious. Personally, for me, I think it's gotta be 1. 2 is a close second, though, ironically enough. And then I think I'd go 3 and then 4. Though, they're all really good, honestly. So, tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and have a far off night.